right, that was Saturday. Things are a lot calmer right now in Atlanta, Georgia. This is Peach Street we're talking about. Of course, a tourist mecca, to say nothing of a vibrant commercial mecca. Maybe a little less so these days. I'm a bit concerned about exactly what happened and why it happened. The governor of the beautiful state of Georgia, Brian Kemp, with us right now. Governor, good to have you. How are things looking there now, Governor?
Very quiet. Thank you, Neil. You know, we had a state-local response to the damage the other night, jumped on it very quickly, locked people up, and they're going to be prosecuted fully. And, you know, I think we've sent a very strong message, not only from myself, but from our Attorney General, Chris Carr, and the Mayor of Atlanta, Andre Dickens, that we're not going to put up with this kind of violence in the city of Atlanta or the state of Georgia.
What got this going?
Well, there's a new City of Atlanta law enforcement training facility that's been a little bit controversial. There's been some folks that are, environmental protesters. Most of that group has been peaceful, but some domestic terrorists, anarchists, whatever you want to call them, really have been damaging property, assaulting workers, state employees, and other people. And quite honestly, in my opinion, this has gone on way too long. I became very frustrated with this situation several months ago and have been pushing the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the State Patrol, and other state law enforcement to start working with the locals to make sure that we have a safe environment here. I mean, we didn't play into the local politics of the decision that was made, but we're just not going to stand for construction sites being terrorized and people being assaulted, and that goes for our police officers too. And so we made that clear Saturday night. Unfortunately, we had a state trooper that got shot when we were trying to clear this forest, and that's very unfortunate. I visited with him and his family yesterday, and he's fighting hard, and we're continuing to keep him in our prayers. But it's really, we're going to bring these people to justice. I mean, we're going to send the message. We did that 2 years ago during civil unrest when a lot of out-of-state people that really shouldn't have a dog in this fight or come into our city to destroy businesses and government property like police cars. And we extinguished this uprising very quickly. It's been very peaceful ever since, and I think we sent a strong message that that we're just not going to put up with that here in the state of Georgia.
But Governor, there were reports that Antifa might have recruited a lot of activists to come into the state, to come into the city, and to make this even worse. Is that true?
Well, we've certainly seen that in the past. I wouldn't want to speak in the middle of an investigation, but there's, the fact is, the majority of these folks were from out of state. Who was sending them here and why, I'll let our folks work on that. We've got our team. We're also working with the FBI on this issue. We take it very seriously, just like we did 2 years ago. We appreciate and work hard to allow people to peacefully protest in the state of Georgia. We did that back during COVID and civil unrest.
Right.
But when we have instigators that come, Neil, we're just not going to put up with that.
Understood. Governor, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, I guess we're supposed to get today, sir, the final grand jury read, a report on Donald Trump's efforts to overturn his defeat in your state back in 2020. I know you're apart from that. You're the governor. You're aware of this. Any news?
Yeah, I don't really know too much other than what's been reported. I know they're having a hearing today about whether to make the report public or not. I'm sure the judge will listen to both sides in that issue. But I can tell you I'm focused on, I just got sworn in a little over a week ago, and our legislative session has started, so we're working on the initial stages of getting our budget through and working on our legislative agenda and helping people in Georgia fight through 40-year high inflation and keep our economy going, which has been incredible here, Neil, as you know, right. In 2023, when a lot of people are really concerned about recession and the economy slowing down.
I always think there are a number of some of your Republican colleagues, Governor, who have now taken to challenging or zinging Donald Trump, but you were in the throes of it before anyone because of this Georgia election and the results, and you had spoken your mind that the elections were fair there, and you certainly heard the pile-on and were dealing with the resistance coming from Trump forces, making sure you weren't reelected. You easily were. Any bitterness over that experience?
Oh, no, listen, politics is a tough business. I volunteered for this. I'm not going to complain about any situation I've been through. It's been an honor to serve the people of this state. But listen, Neil, I just, I told people a lot. I followed the law and the Constitution. I'm going to continue to do that. But I've also stayed very focused on what the people of our state need in these unprecedented times that we've been through, whether it was civil unrest, the 2020 election, COVID, a lot of other things, and we worked hard in our state to get businesses open and keep them open, to get our kids back in the classroom and to keep people safe and to go after street gangs and human traffickers, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. That's what the people reelected me to do, and we're fighting hard for them every day, and I tell people, whether you voted for me or not, I'm going to be working hard every day as your governor.
Governor, you were in a lot of kudos, also a lot of wrath, taking on Donald Trump during that time, as I remember. You recently claimed Donald Trump didn't do a good enough job to get reelected. That is why he lost. I only mention that in the context of some people wanting you to run for president, to carve a new path for the party. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would tell you what I said. I wasn't just signaling out President Trump. I just felt like at the federal level, we had not been doing a good job over a couple of election cycles of, we've always done a good job, I think, of contrasting with the Democrats and the differences in their policies and ours that I think are superior to theirs, to have, free markets and to create jobs and give people freedom, economic prosperity, no matter where they live, especially here in Georgia. That's what I've been focused on. But, Neil, I'm a strong believer. We also have to tell people what we're for. Like, why should they vote for us? And my closing message to people was, look back over the last 2 years, the last 4 years. Who was fighting for you? Who was fighting for you every day to help keep your business open, help you fight through 40-year high inflation and high gas prices and the disaster at the border? Who was fighting to get your kids back in the classroom when you had woke school board members that didn't want to do that because of pandemic politics? Who was fighting to keep you safe? Who was going after street gangs? Who was working with local, state, federal law enforcement to do that? And that's what I did in my campaign, and the people sent me back to continue to do that, and that's where my focus is right now.
Yeah, they sent you back by a wide margin. Governor Brian Kemp, thank you very, very much. Good seeing you again.